Thank you for staying with us. Now we're about to switch lanes and we're being joined by Mariam Loshi. She is a member of the Not Too Young to Run group. As you're aware, the president last week assented to that bill. Mariam, it's a pleasure to have you on the program. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so first and foremost, I would have to say congratulations, for this feat. I mean, you guys have been able to push for this bill, from beginning and to where it is at the moment. So congratulations.
Thank you so much. We're so happy.
I can imagine. So, but it just seems like there's still a lot more work to be done. It doesn't seem like, your work is done.
Yes, we still, it really now feels like, a long-term commitment because as we've gone along the stages, it's been clear that reducing the age for elective office is not enough to include young people in the process. So there's still like, we still have many more stages to get to in order to feel like young people are properly involved in the process. But this is like a huge step for us, and we're really happy we're celebrating this step.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. But when the president was making that historic signing, he said something. He said, surprisingly, the age limits for senators and governors was not reduced as originally proposed by the sponsors of this bill. This is an issue that may need to be addressed going forward. What happened along the line? What went wrong?
So at the point when the two committees from the House as well as the Senate met, that was when the bill changed because there had been two different versions of the bill that went through the Senate and the House, and they were expected to merge them together when the two committees met. So we are expecting that it was when it went into that stage that the ages they decided to change the ages for the governor and the Senate. And ever since that statement was made, ever since we've made inquiries, we recently read a statement by the Deputy Senate President, that is Ike Ekweremadu, and he gave an explanation saying that if something were to happen to the president or the vice president, that the next person who would be in charge would be the Senate president, and therefore they didn't want the age to be lower. But in that case, it's the same thing for the same thing for the State House of Assembly. So even though they've explained that this was their reason, it's still something that we're not exactly excited about. And one day we could advocate for alignment where all the ages for that would make a person eligible for elective office from president down to State House of Assembly would just be 18, so that none of these issues would come up.
Oh yeah, so since you brought up the matter of the statement, I actually saw that statement, and in some part he said on the reduction of the age qualification for the office of governor, Ekweremadu explained that the majority opinion was that 35 years should be ideal for now to enable the would-be governors acquire the requisite experience to pilot the affairs of the state. So I think he's trying to say that young people don't have the requisite experience now, quote unquote, according to that statement. How true is that?
I mean, at the end of the day, it's if the age is supposed to be 35 or even 30, there are enough young people that if people wanted to prepare them for the process, they could do so without having to wait for them to get to a certain age. If a person decides that they would, like a 30-year-old, why not train up that person to be able to handle the position of a president? So a lot of the issue about experience is if we are able to bring down the age for the State House of Assembly and the House of Reps down to 25, then we might as well do it. There's no balance between the two because we're making exceptions for one situation and we're not making exceptions for the other situation. So we would like our leaders to think about training up young people so that they would be ready even without thinking too much about the age restrictions.
All right, Mariam Loshi, thank you very much, member of the Not Too Young to Run group. But just before you go, I saw a hashtag trending on Twitter which says "too old to run." Are you guys behind that hashtag?
No, no, no. It's just a bunch of Nigerians, I guess, who are getting excited by the way things are turning out. But that is not an initiative of the Not Too Young to Run strategy team.
No, Wahala. Thank you very much once again for joining us on the program today.
Thanks a lot.
And that's where we are. We'll go on a short break and we'll be back with the most viewed videos on our YouTube channel in the past week. Please stay with us.
Another example they are talking about is the issue of zoning.
Yes.
Yeah, and they say that Okigwe or low. I came in, I wasn't a product of zoning.
The video of Imo State Governor Rochas Okorocha calling for the use of capacity rather than zoning in Nigeria's political space begins this week's most viewed videos in 5th place.
So we're talking about somebody who has something upstairs. Let him govern, irrespective of where he comes from.
I know that $16 billion is missing. There was no project done with that money. That money was shared among people who are loyal to Obasanjo.
Up next in 4th is former Abia State Governor Uzo Orji Kalu criticizing Nigeria's former president and military ruler Olusegun Obasanjo.
Obasanjo's friends, count all his friends. It must be in that book, those that share the money.
Well, my immediate reaction is one of...
The reply by former Minister of Aviation, Femi Fani-Kayode, to questions raised by President Buhari about a huge sum of money spent on power by one of his predecessors takes the 3rd spot.
The fact of the matter is this. There was never an allegation, or there was never a claim by President Obasanjo that $16 billion was spent on power. Neither did he ever boast about that. Neither was ever that amount of money spent on power when Obasanjo was in power. That's the simple truth.
In 2nd place is the video of a senior advocate of Nigeria insisting that President Buhari has performed well in his 3-year stay in office.
Nigerians would have been worse off if the government has not taken the steps that it took, especially in respect of the economy. Remember that in 2014, the recession started. So nobody should wake up and because of political reasons say that it was when this government came on board that we slipped into recession. Recession does not start overnight. The recession started in 2014, and that was why at the point of handover in 2015, 24 states were almost bankrupt. They couldn't pay salaries.
While the Democracy Day broadcast by President Muhammadu Buhari takes the #1 spot on the most viewed video chats.
In few days to come, I will be joined by many promising young Nigerians to sign into law the Not Too Young to Run bill. I thank you for your attention. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Well, there you go. Those were the most viewed videos on our YouTube channel in the past week. And that's where we'll wrap it up on the program this week. Thank you for watching, and let's keep the conversation going via the social media addresses showing on your screen. I'm Victor Matthias. Bye for now.